this past week, I finally launched my third channel, my channel where it's kind of where content doesn't really fit. And I think it's going to be, it's turning into my kind of like my side projects. So projects that I do that normally I would love to share with people, but don't really fit into my channel. And I know there's a lot of people that say, yeah, I totally watch it on your channel, but that's not really how YouTube works. YouTube puts so much emphasis on people who come to your channel for a certain reason, that if I started to put that type of content, YouTube would see that, hey, only 10%, 20% of people are interested in this content. You used to do this before, and it would start deprioritizing my videos. Sad but true, that's kind of how YouTube works. So I've had so many things I do that I want to document and share, that I decided to stand up yet another channel to put those there. And this is kind of going to be my total side projects. Like I did, the one that I just worked on my first video was something that was brought up in last stream. I think Obsidian Hale had asked, hey, what's a project that you'd like to work on that you haven't finished? And this is one that's been in the back burner for a long time. It's finally upgrading my Raspberry Pi LED from microSD to SSDs. And whoa, hey dude, thank you so much. Takano, thank you so much. Prime 41 months came to resub and say hi. Dude, Takano, how's it going? Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so it was this Raspberry Pi project that I wanted to convert over from microSD to SSD because one, microSD, it has its time and its place, works pretty good in my cameras, works pretty good, for storage in general, but not storage that's accessed often, like a hard drive. And so I finally swapped it out, finally replaced it, and I decided to put it up on that channel. So it's been pretty fun. I kind of have this like renewed sense of creativity. Not that I was getting bored with my current channel, not bored with that current channel at all. But now I don't feel like, oh, that really cool thing that I just did, I'd love to share it, but I can't, because YouTube will start deprioritizing my channel because that's not why people subscribe to me. So anyways, now I have this new channel where I can do that thing. So it's kind of like my second creative outlet for all the things that you don't normally see. So anyways, I'm pretty stoked about that. And then I've been working on a longer project of building like my ultimate HomeLab kind of app engine. I'm going to call it a HomeLab server that's just going to be for like crushing data and doing a lot of my analysis, I guess I should say, data crunching, analysis, and running my apps. One thing that I have been that's kind of driving me crazy is I've had Home Assistant in Kubernetes for like 2 weeks now. It's been going great, but man, I every now and then something happens to where I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't my lights turning on? What is Multis doing now? Is Multis working? And it turns into this like 15-step checklist of everything I need to check in Kubernetes. So I've been thinking about like, maybe I should take some of those things out and put them somewhere else. And so maybe they'll end up there. Still keep my Kubernetes cluster, but I really like Kubernetes for stateless workloads or for high availability workloads. Sometimes shoehorning stuff in there while works isn't the greatest for me because it turns into more work for me on top of the stuff that I'm already doing. So anyways, look for that too. I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you all. I appreciate you being here. Let's get into chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, let's get into chat. Let's see what you've been working on. Super excited. And I'm not just saying that because, hey, I'm oh my gosh. That was so loud in my ears. Whoa, thank you so much. Hype Train. Oh my gosh. Dude, Sinawa. I got to get the name right. I'm going with Signwood. Thank you so much. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you. Dude, thank you so much. I think I know what that super loud noise is. It's when I reach my goal. It is so loud in my ears. It like almost blows out my eardrums. But dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for gifting, dude, 5 tier 1 subs. Quibbit, Z Larva, King Kong, EZ, and Narzai. Enjoy your gifted sub from, I want to get it right. I want to say Signwood, or Cinnawid. Let me know how to pronounce it phonetically, and I'll try to get it right, I promise. Dude, thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, I appreciate that. Man, that was awesome and loud in my eardrum. So like I said, let's get in the chat. If you have something you want to share, something you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Yeah, it would be pretty awesome. Dude, Frigid Souls, thank you so much. Dude, thank you so much, man. The lights are really flashing today. Dude, thank you so much. Frigid Souls, gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Man, thank you. I appreciate it. Wow, that is, you guys, this is too much. Thank you. So Den log in, log off. Den log in, I like it. Den log in, log off. SPJG, Cypher, 19, 80, 71, Dinelp. And names are so hard for me. Minamaka man. Enjoy your gifted sub from Frigid Souls. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. One thing I will say is one thing you can't do right now is control the lights. And that goes back to this whole Home Assistant thing. I've been trying to track down like what's going on with Home Assistant and Kubernetes. It's like this saga continues. But I hope to have all of that fixed, I think, next week. So I got the Pi working, got light and the flashing lights working, but then my Zigbee lights aren't working right. So, and it's nothing to do with Home Assistant, everything to do with me trying to run it in Kubernetes and going crazy and just like destroying my nodes every now and then. So, all my fault. But dude, thank you. Let's get in a chat. Let's get in a chat because I love hearing what you have to say, and I'm not just saying it. It's not just lip service. It not only gives me inspiration, but it gives me ideas and gives me, it's a good finger on the pulse of what's going on with community. So I love doing it. Salvarius, imagine if a streamer announced a stream but then didn't show. Yeah, that's kind of me for like the first 10 minutes after the hour. It's like, is Tim going to show up? Yeah, I am. If I don't show up, I've either announced it or something's really wrong. Sorry. Let's see. Salvarius, we could always just go to Discord and one of you guys streams what you're doing in your lab today. Yeah, for sure. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that video chat where everyone would just hop into video chat and just talk about whatever. Definitely need to get back to that. Hey, stream starting soon. It is. Let's see. Lesser Train, Woot, installing a GPU now. Following the Proxmox GPU tutorials right now, hopefully no gotchas. Yeah, there are some gotchas. I mean, it depends on how you have Proxmox installed. There are lots of gotchas. You have to, if Proxmox is using UEFI versus BIOS, you have to do one thing. If you're using, an Intel, if you're using an NVIDIA GPU versus AMD GPU, you have to do another thing. IOMMU, kind of, sort of. You might have to do different things depending on how you have Proxmox installed. And then you do have to do certain things to your VMs too, to make sure that they can use those GPUs. But so a couple of gotchas. But I found just be sure whatever guide you're following, you have the same setup, because a lot of people will install Proxmox and not use UEFI, and then they'll be like, hey, this guide doesn't work. Well, the guide was built for UEFI and not for BIOS. So that's important because a lot of those, some of those commands that you're going to run and some of the things that you're going to modify aren't in the same place. So anyways, that sounds like fun. Yeah, it's always fun putting a GPU in anything. G'day, yo. How's it going? Good to see you. Trevor, I did some work in Splunk. Oh, that was your sub message. Yeah, pretty awesome. Like I was saying, it's so fun to see like the fruits of your labor, I guess I should say. Like I was saying, like it's awesome to, one, get your devices to send logs to a logging system like Splunk. And then two, it's nice to visualize those with the system, whatever you're using. Dude, thank you so much. Dude, Prime sub, 12 months, 1 year. Let's go. Allspring. Hey, thank you so much. Year. Let's go year. Year of support. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. But Trevor, yeah, pretty awesome that you have a dashboard now. It's always fun. Like, dashboards are always fun because you really see the result of your work. Literally. Mathny, hello, Tim or Muffin. How's it going? Good to see you. Sinawid. I'm just gonna say it so fast that you can't tell if I'm getting it right or wrong. Walking around reconfiguring Zigbee coordinators and repairing 400 devices, not like this. Yeah, ooh, that sounds tough. Yeah, 400 devices. That's probably a reset on every device and rejoin. That does not sound like fun. Not at all. I mean, I have some of that coming up here in a little bit. I'm switching a couple of my things to Zigbee. I already use, I have 50, 60 Zigbee devices, but I'm switching a handful more, 20 over from Wi-Fi or Ethernet or networking to Zigbee, and I'll be doing kind of the same thing, but not 400. Woo, that's tough. That's tough. Is this at home? Yeah. Oh, Salveri's Grill and Muffin. Are we not worthy of your greetings? He said hello. Oh, Mamens. I miss it. Mamens. How's it going? Good to see you. PC Geek. I snagged a Tesla K80 for $40 on eBay, waiting for a GPU to CPU power adapter to test it out. Plan on using for AI or maybe some light gaming inside of VMs. That is awesome. Dude, a Tesla K80, $40 on eBay. Yeah, it's like, dude, $40? How can you say no? It's pretty cheap, and you could probably sell it again for maybe more than that. And even if not, I'm sure you can get some use out of it for $40. That is awesome. Yeah, you mentioned localized AI stuff that you were testing. It sounds awesome too. Let me know how that works out. Because I'm curious too. No. Mathne says, nope, not worthy. Are we going to bust 100 viewers again this stream? Woo woo. I hope we are. I certainly hope we are. Yakto, working on planning seven new nodes to add to the cluster. Dude, YWS, this is an update from YWS. YWS is now adding seven more nodes to the cluster. Yeah, that is awesome. Did you get the remodeling done yet inside? Last time I saw in Discord, I think you were building 10-foot walls. You were getting it all framed out. I think to do cooling, probably to separate that room from the rest of from the rest of your data center, maybe for cooling and maybe for noise. But yeah, looks awesome. I'm gonna see more. PC Geek, try not to. Here we go. It's all good. Using the neighbor's garage yet? Oh yeah. So this is to Yakto. So Yakto and YWS, he has this huge garage and he's building a data center in it. And he has like 4 racks. So if you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. I've got 2 garages. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. I was excited to see you nailed the Techno Tim Tinkers channel. Thank you. And fix that pixel display. What's your next, Techno Tim? Your longest backlog project? Oh, Signable. This is. I'm feeling. I recognize the avatar. This has to be Obsidian Hail. I assume it is because I recognize the avatar and just how you're speaking to me. But let's see. What's my next? My longest backlog. Wow, I'm like pulling stuff off the bottom of the stack now. Usually it's always the top of the stack, and things get pushed down. My next one, I don't know if this is going to be a video, but I just kind of talked about it a little bit. I've had these Zigbee plugs. I have like 9 Zigbee plugs, and I think 3 wall switches that are Zigbee that I want to swap out my old Wemo switches with it. Why? Because the Wemos are just like I've had them for, I don't know, 8-9 years, maybe 10 years, and I think the switch in them, the actual mechanical switch is going bad. Like that switch over there is, you can keep it on no matter what. You can turn it off, but it still powers the ceiling fan. Kind of sounds like a fire hazard to me. Like you cannot turn it off. It's stuck on. The one in the bedroom, when you turn it on, you gotta wait about I'd say about 30 seconds. Then it'll turn things on. So there's a lot of things like that. It's just like I'm so over like all of my Wemo stuff, and they're all starting to fail individually around all the same time. So I think it's a good time to swap things out with Zigbee. So that's what I'd love to do. That's another one of my side projects. It's like, well, things are mostly working now, so I keep putting this off. I put this project off since winter because they're mostly working, and I'm putting out fires all the time. So that'd be one I'd like to get to for sure. Let's see. Thank you on the praises for the channel. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun having yet another outlet for creativity and tech projects. It's pretty awesome. Andre, hi from Portugal. Hey, hello, how's it going? Good to see you. Hi from the US. Greetings from Houston. Glad to say we survived the crazy storm the other day. Just Kaiser Sose. Yeah, crazy storms. You have had, I think, tornadoes going through there. All kinds of stuff going on in the south, for sure. Yeah, Texas area. Yeah, it's that season. It's that season, but I feel like it's I don't know. It's a little more, I don't know. It's rearing its head a little bit uglier, I guess I should say. It's been pretty okay here. We had a couple of thunderstorms go through. It's 80 today. it was 84 yesterday, and then it's going to cool back down to low 70s and highs in the upper 40s. That for me is like, that is awesome. I actually like high of like 62, 63, and then lows in the 40s, because that means hoodie all day, every day, which I put a hoodie on today because I've been putting hoodies on every morning for, I don't know, I feel like 5-6 months. And I'm like, wait, it's going to be 80 degrees today. Why do I have a hoodie on? And I almost changed, and I was like, I'm just going to keep it. I already wore it like half the day. I'm not changing now. But yeah, I'm glad you're okay. Blockbog on networks. Yakto, have you replaced the UniFi switch fans with low noise ones? Yeah, good question. I'm curious too. What device has the loud fans? I'm assuming it's a PoE switch when you use so much power. I bet it is. Because their fans are generally, I mean, their switches in general, generally silent. But generally silent. But sometimes, like if you have the 10 gig, the 10 gig switch that I bought from Yakto, if you load that up, with 10, 20, 10 gig things, that thing gets warm too, and the fans can kick on. So I don't have that many things in it yet. Memens. Let's see, narrowed down my home lab and started hosting LLM locally for better coding experience, hopefully. The break lasted long enough to know for sure what my family uses of my hosted stuff. Now I'm only running one machine and a Sonali NAS. Hey, yeah. So I think over the last couple of weeks, you've been saying, look, HomeLabbing is starting to turn into a chore. It's not being fun anymore, and it's taking a lot of energy, whether that be, I interpreted that two ways. I interpret it like, real energy, like power. They're both real energy. And then mental energy too, like stamina. And I agree with both that can happen over time. But you're saying now, hey, I found practical stuff that I'm going to keep. One being LLMs to help you code better, which I think is great. And another is, and I like this piece where you said, the break lasted long enough to know for sure what my family uses of my hosted stuff. That is awesome. That is probably the best way to know who uses what, just turn it off. Turn it off for a week, and who, does anybody notice? And you might find that, hey, maybe not. NAS is definitely an important one. It's interesting to think about like having a NAS at home and having a family that use it. Sounds awesome to me. But yeah, so you're only wanting one machine and it's knowledge. Yes, yeah, that's totally fine. Like I totally get it. Curious where you're running your LLM then. So I assume you got that going in some other machine than Synology. I mean, I guess you could run it there. But yeah, that is awesome. I totally get it. I go back and forth all the time with like, hey, I'm burnt out. Hey, I'm energized. Hey, I'm burnt out. But now it's kind of like partially my job, so I can't be like, oh, I'm burnt out. When it was my hobby, like I said a couple of weeks ago, when it was my hobby, I could flip-flop. And right now, I would flip-flop to probably gaming for the summer, probably the whole summer, and then come back to HomeLab in the fall. And I know people who do that too. Some of it's because like their HomeLab is also like warming up their house, so they need to shut down. But other people, it's just like, hey, that was a great thing to do during the winter. Now I need, I need consumable bits of things to do. And playing games is usually like that, like, hey, I can play a couple matches. It's 30, 40 minutes, and then I'm done. I get it. Frigid Souls. Tim, how's it going, brother? I'm doing good. I am doing good. I can't complain, and even if I had something to complain about, it probably wouldn't be valid. So, no, I'm doing really good. I'm excited about stuff. I am a little warm right now, but that's because I have a hoodie on and it's summer, and I have a ton of lights on. But anyways, I'm good. I'm not going to talk about ailments or anything like that. Good. I've been rowing for a long time. I started rowing, 4 months ago. And now I've been on a rowing machine at home, and now I'm on the last click of rowing. Like I'm on the hardest mode you could possibly do. So that's a huge achievement for me. I only went there 2 rows ago, so I took Friday off. But I've only done it 2 times so far. But I'm gonna do it right after the stream, so it's fun. Peloton row? No, actually I've been doing Apple Fitness. We got a free trial of Apple Fitness during during the pandemic. And then my wife and I were like, hey, this is pretty cool. We both have Apple Watches. We did what most people did, build a little corner to where we could work out. And then we were doing HIIT for a long time. Then we kind of got off of it, got kind of boring. But then we got a rowing machine and we were like, oh, this is where it's kind of getting fun. And so, yeah, anyways, I don't know, talk about fitness stuff. But over the last couple of months, I just found that for me, I get the best results out of it. Hop on it for 30 minutes like a crazy person in row with a class with Apple Fitness. And it's pretty awesome. Just compartmentalize it. Hey, this is my 30 minutes a day where I row a boat really hard. But it's pretty fun. But I'm doing good. Anyways, yeah, I'm doing good. Dumb question. You move that stuff to the garage. Oh, block bug on networks. Oh, that's probably for YWS. I think it's spawned there. I think you replaced them with louder Aristas. Yeah, I think so too. Those are pretty loud. I learned today, Sinewald. I learned today that you could put a Coral TPU into the A+E key of a MSO1 instead of the Wi-Fi card. That is awesome. Are you still using Frigate scripted Techno Tim? What cameras? So I'm not using Frigate. I plan on probably bringing it back in to do some analysis on some live video. So yeah, and I think I knew that you could put that key in there. Maybe it was because, I don't know, might have been Hardware Haven when he did a review on it. He was talking about what that could be used for. But that is pretty cool, putting the Coral TPU in there. That is a great way to give the MS01 some brains, right? To give it some brains. This is pretty awesome. So I never used Frigate. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. I went from Blue Iris. Frigate didn't exist. I wanted a containerized PVR for a long time. Didn't exist. I thought about doing Shinobi. There was a couple of them out there. Then I ended up just going UniFi, and then it's been working out great ever since. So yeah, I've UniFi Protect. I have tons of cameras. But the nice thing about that is then I also pipe those video streams to scripted, and then scripted can then pipe those to HomeKit, which HomeKit can also do. So HomeKit Apple devices like my Apple TV can also do local analysis. Now, all of Apple's AI is all local. All their stuff's all local. It's on device, and so that's the cool thing is it can do analysis. And then if you have iCloud, you also get like free end-to-end encrypted video storage. Which is nice because if someone busted in and like stole my PVR, my video recorder, they would have all of my video because it's all local. But I've automated it to where when I leave, then HomeKit starts my it's kind of weird, but it's pretty awesome. I automate it to when no one's home, it automatically kicks on the cameras and will start streaming end-to-end encrypted to my iCloud, so that if someone does steal something or takes my, my MVR, I guess say not PVR, MVR, that I still have that video. So anyways, I'm using scripted. It is awesome. I think that's another thing I have in Kubernetes where it's like, it works good there, but like, and no problem, this is not an issue with scripted at all, but it's another thing like, there's a can I and should I, and sometimes I feel like the Home Assistant one is like a can I, and I think scripted is in that boat too. So anyways, more to come on that, where I'm going to put that. Still keeping my Kubernetes cluster, but I think I'm going to start like, co-locating, not in my colo, but co-locating these applications and services into another system that I've been building that I've been talking about for a while, just so I kind of had that all there. But yeah, good network. Dude, real quick. Whoa. Alexander. Who is Wiggle? I totally missed the emoji for that. But dude, thank you so much. Tier 1 sub, 3 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. 3 months. Swiss Techno Tom, how's it going? It's US Techno Tim and Swiss Techno Tom. Hi, Tim. From Switzerland, just killed my Proxmox cluster to redefining network config. Wait, hold on. I just killed my Proxmox cluster to redefining network config. I assume you either broke your network configuration for Proxmox, and now you can't get into it, or you did something with software defined networking and that's not working. Either way, that's a pain in the butt. Now you got to go local and you got to hook up a machine and maybe get into terminal and do it that way. Hopefully you can. Hopefully it's there to where you can. So. Or IPMI. Hopefully you have IPMI, because then you could do it that way too, right? Right? You don't have to physically go there or physically hook things up. Good luck, Swiss Techno Time. I hope you figure it out. PC Geek. Yep. MVR part of UDM. Yep. And then I stream that. Yep. And then I stream that video to scripted, which then will stream it to my Apple TV for local analysis, basically to HomeKit. And then if I'm away, it will then not only do the analysis, but then also save the video in my iCloud end-to-end encrypted, which is pretty cool. I'm like sending video, all within my local network. But as soon as I leave home and Home Assistant detects I'm not here anymore, boom, all cameras on, analysis, and streaming to my iCloud. I know like a lot of people don't like Apple, and I totally get it. But I will say one thing, I guess a hidden benefit a lot of people don't realize, if you have iCloud and you have iCloud family, you get like unlimited storage for all of your MVR for unlimited cameras. It's like insane. And they don't charge for it. It's just like, hey, and they don't talk about it either. It's not something they talk about. But I figured it out when I was turning my cameras on in HomeKit. It was like, hey, do you want to stream this to iCloud? I was like, nah, not really. And then once I figured this out, like, oh, well, what if someone steals my MVR? And then once I figured out I could automate turning on the cameras when I leave, that's what I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly. That gives me off-site storage. And then it was like, hey, you have an iCloud family plan. You get unlimited data for your video. I was like, oh, that is interesting. Anyways, but yes, I use UDM, but luckily they give me streams that I can pipe then elsewhere. I'll have to post the dashboards to Discord. Yeah, please do. I love seeing dashboards, especially ones that I haven't seen before, like products I haven't seen before. I love seeing other dashboards and seeing how things do it. Like Grafana, I totally know that. Net data, totally know that. I love seeing new dashboards. I like it when there's competition in this space for like analytics and for analytics and monitoring. I love it when there's competition in this space, because it's pretty exciting stuff, and there's just so much data. Frigid Souls, Tim, we're still ready. Wait, we are still ready to adopt you. Adopt me? It's funny. Adopt me. Am I up for adoption? I don't know. I did ask Jeff from Craft Computing once if he could adopt me, because he had a lot of stuff going on there, and I was like, hey, you got room for more, because you do some pretty awesome stuff in your home lab. So. But I've been adopted. My wife adopted me. How about that? It's like taking care of a kid. I am Utba. Hey, Tim, I was trying to create a blog post site using Jekyll, but installing Ruby only installed 3.0.1, and Jekyll wants 3.3 or above. Can you share insight on it? Yes, I can. Yeah, so it probably means, hey, you're installing it maybe on Ubuntu, or whatever package manager you're using is saying, hey, the latest is 3.3, or 3.0.1. I think on my blog, so if you're following my blog, I thought I had a way to like manually install it. I thought I had a way to manually install it and just like install it, that way, force it to be a later version. I'd have to honestly look at my documentation. And if you're following my Jekyll one, I thought I had it in there. If it is on Ubuntu and apt only has 3.0.1, just Google Ubuntu install 3.3, and there's someone else who has to have a workaround to do this, because I had to do this on Ansible for a while too, right? Because apt had a certain version of Ansible installed. I needed a newer version, so I had to either install it through with Python with pip or another way. And so I think that's going to be your case too, is either install it through pip or install it, yet another way directly from source versus going through your package manager. If you can't figure it out, yeah, ping me in Discord. I'll find something too. Bigsby. Bixby, hey Tim, hope you're doing good. I just upgraded my machine running Docker on Ubuntu to running Proxmox with Ubuntu as a VM and Docker. Yeah. Any advice for a reverse proxy since I use Traefik? Do I just spin one up for every VM or can I use one for all VMs? Hey, good question, Bixby. Good question. So you're saying, hey, well, one, I went from, Ubuntu, probably bare metal Ubuntu and running my containers now to Proxmox, and I put them in a virtual machine. And then in there I have Docker, and in there I run Traefik. But what happens when, you're asking, I just spin one up on every VM, or can I use one for all VMs? So you're asking okay, so I have one instance of Traefik on this VM, and then I have other VMs that might be running things, should I install one per instance? You can. That's a lot of reverse proxies and a lot of DNS work. I guess it's the same amount of DNS work. So you can do that, absolutely. Now, I mean, that would work too. It's probably a little more resilient than what I'm going to recommend, which would be the other option is to just have one and then, refer to, you point all of your CNAMEs, DNS records to that one, where it can access some on the container, but then you're going to have configuration in that one instance of Traefik to say, hey, for these sites that aren't here, here's how you got to get to them. And so you're going to have to build routes and config for services as if they're not on the same box, because they're not. Containerized or not, it doesn't matter. And so that works. So in my latest guide that I have, I gave the example of how to do it on Proxmox, I gave an example of how to have TLS or terminate TLS and use a reverse proxy for your Proxmox web UI, and it's the same idea. It's the same idea. If you have a couple other apps on another VM, it's the same idea. Just follow that to where you say, hey, Traefik, CNAME routes to Traefik, and then one routes to the other. But yeah, I mean, I think that's simpler than running three. Three is because then you don't have to think. But the one downside is, hey, if you take that one server down, then you can't get to all of those other devices through that reverse proxy. Not a huge deal because you could probably still get there the old way, right? Get there through IP and port, and that'll work too. So kind of up to you. Or there's yet another way where you just take it out on its own and don't tie it to any of those machines, and then make everything, every route remote from it. So, and that's, it's yet another point of failure, but you could do that. So then it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter which machine it's on, but I would probably put it on the stack that has the most containers. That's what I would do. Wherever you're running containers, put it there too. Honestly, that's how I ran it. And then create routes for services that are external to that machine. Let's see. Look up installing Ruby direct from their website. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Piece of Geek. Exactly. Installing Ruby direct from their website versus using Linux distro packages management. I agree. That's it. Dude, D. Panesso. Hey, how's it going? 42 months. Tier 1. Thank you so much. Hey, Tim. How are you today? Started getting into home automation lately. Hey, yeah, same here. I was just talking about it a little bit earlier. These lights are brought to you by Home Automation and my code. Brought to you by Home Assistant. These lights and the devices around it. So yeah, that's awesome. It's so fun. I would say if I could give some advice to someone who's just getting into it like yourself, make sure you keep it fun. Make sure, and then, in the beginning, I went way crazy on automations. And I think that made my life not as simple. I thought I was simplifying my life, and sometimes the automations don't work the way you intend them to. So I would say keep it fun. And go after the low-hanging fruit, right? Lights at night, turn on. Lights in the morning, turn off. Presence detection or motion detection, shut lights off when you leave. Those types of things are super fun. Open and close garage door. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, it's super fun. Just keep it fun. That's what I say. As soon as it starts to feel like a chore, hey, take a break. Because it is fun. And if you're using Home Assistant, that can be a little bit frustrating too. Not because the product, maybe because the product, but it's meant to remote control everything. and so it could be pretty dense in some parts. You know, for instance, I was just training one of my IR blasters, IR codes from a remote control. And that in itself is pretty complicated, but doing it in Home Assistant makes it super complicated, right? Because I have to go in this weird place called services. I have to create this device name, you know, and I have to train it. Yeah. So anyways, it can be daunting tasks for sure, but there are plenty of people out there who are creating content on it too. Anyways, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. Oh, Tinker Baby. Yeah, that's right. That is the name of the channel. I'm still going back and forth on it. If I ever, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it that way. But it's fun. It's fun. Side projects where Tim shows how not to use power tools. Yeah, good call. We talked about that. Yeah. In that last video, I seriously like jabbed a drill, probably about a quarter of the way into my finger. And I had to play it cool because the camera was on. But it hurt really bad. And right before I did it, I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't put my finger here. And then the drill went right through, you know, that Raspberry Pi board directly into my finger because I was holding it like this. So dumb. And then I was debating cutting it out, but like I noticed later in the video, I was talking about it and I had a Band-Aid on and I was like, if I cut it out now, like there's no way for me to segue into this unless I narrate voiceover and do it. So, and I didn't want to do that. So I left it in, but I had to make sure I didn't sound like a wimp at first. Cause I'm like, how much of a wimp did I sound? Oh, not really kidding. And my wife was like, did you sound how you normally sound when you get hurt? I was like, nope, I played it cool. She teases me all the time about how I overreact when I get hurt, but I'm not overreacting. Anyways, yeah, it was fun. I'm definitely not going to do it anymore. I'll use a block of wood. Came to resub and say hi. Oh, Takano, we saw that earlier. Thank you so much. I am Utba. Ruby, only give the commands to install and actually not the installer file. It's probably install. Yeah, pip maybe. That's what I was saying earlier too. Yeah, pip. Do it pip, or even if you have to curl. Or you know, curl's probably not the right answer. And if it is Ubuntu, I forgot where we left off. You know, there's probably a way to get it from source precompiled. Let's see. Sunza. Yo, Tim, I'm the guy from your Discord server that's been learning Kubernetes for the past week. Thanks for clarifying bare metal thing with Metal LB. Hey, Sunza, yeah. No problem at all. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun learning Kubernetes. And yeah, you brought up something that I even struggled with a long time ago. When you hear about Kubernetes, not running in a cloud environment, they call it a metal install. Some people say it's a bare metal install. And for a long time, I was like, why does Kubernetes care whether it's virtualized or bare metal? Like, I totally didn't get it. I'm like, it's a metal install. It's a bare metal install. I'm like, yeah, so what? Like, why does that matter? And it turns out that's terminology for Kubernetes saying, like, it's not in a cloud environment. You're self-hosting it. Or it's not from a SaaS provider. Basically, it's saying, like, hey, it's not in a cloud. Meaning that you're hosting it yourself. And so like for longest, oh, hey, dude, thank you so much. Sudo. I'm going to go with sudo. Actually, since your name is sudo, I should ask you, how do you pronounce your name? Is it sudo or sudo? But we all know how it's pronounced. Dude, thanks for the bits. AC system right now with Oriketo integrated with Oath Keeper Traefik Linkerd. Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. So you got it integrated with Oath Keeper plus Traefik plus Linkerd. That is awesome. So Linkerd I haven't used yet. I've considered it, and I think that's it's in Kubernetes. I think it's like a replacement for log scraping. I think, and I think if I recall correctly, it's either Slack or LinkedIn that made it. Linkerd. It's probably LinkedIn. That makes sense. But yeah, that is awesome. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. Man, that is awesome. You got some awesome stuff going on in there in your cluster. But yeah, I always wanted to check out Linkerd because it seemed pretty cool. Pretty cool way to scrape logs, Git logs from all your containers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But soon, yeah, so going back to this, so yeah, bare metal, it was super confusing to me. And I was like, what is going on? So I finally, yeah, figured it out that metal installs for Kubernetes just means you're not in a cloud environment. And that's what they call it. They should have just called it like self-hosted, like most people, or non-SaaS or something. I don't know why the Kubernetes community determined that, you know, a non-cloud hosted version was just called metal, bare metal. So anyways, and then that's when I realized, that's when it clicked for me. Oh, that's where Metal LB gets its name, right? Because it's a metal install of Kubernetes. It's a load balancer for a metal install of Kubernetes. So it all came together when you answered that, when you mentioned that and had me, like when I explained it to you, that's when it clicked for me. I was like, that's why they call it Metal LB. Anyways, yeah, super weird, but I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're learning Kubernetes for sure. Salvarius, yeah. Hey Tim, where's your donate page? Hey, it's totally fine. I mean, you could probably find it below or go to, yeah. I mean, you've already done so much. I don't know where my donate page is, but I think it's, if I were to have it, it's probably links.technotim.live. But you've already done so much. I'm only saying it because you asked, but you've already done a lot. I appreciate it, Frigid Souls. Let's see. Swiss Techno Tom. Hey, Tim. Just installed Ceph on my Proxmox cluster. A great solution. What you mean about Ceph? So what do I think about Ceph? No, I think it's a great solution too. Like, I would love to have a little more hardware to where I could do this. I would like one more mini cluster. I know I keep saying like, if I only had hardware, and it seems like every time I get hardware, I start dedicating it to stuff, right? When I move some of my services to my colo, I then use 3 servers and put them in the co-location. So now I'm back to, okay, just my HomeLab stuff. I would like, if I could, at some point, I would like 3 MSO1s, because those MSO1s by Miniforum, they have dual 10 gig networking, 3 slots, I think, for NVMEs. And I think what Obsidian Hale was talking about earlier, I'm still going to call you that because I think that's who that is. It also has M.2 key, I forget which key, to where you could put some other machines in there, or other devices. That aside, I would love to use that because I have fast enough networking then to use to really replicate storage. Because once you go Ceph, in general, like even Longhorn, anytime you're replicating tons of data on change, you need really fast networking. And so 2.5, a shared 2.5 on my minis probably isn't enough because that's what I have right now. I have 3 Intel NUCs. They all have one 2.5 gig NIC, which is great for backups and stuff, but not also good for a Ceph cluster. Anyways, I would love to have I don't know, a pair, a triplet. I'd love to have 3 MSO ones to do this, to test it with. So, because I want to be able to play with Ceph, but, you know, it's kind of hard to really kind of learn Ceph in a virtualized environment. So anyways, to where I'm really going to see some benefit. Anyways, I'd love to. I am considering 3 more mini machines at some point. I love the MSO1. If they come out with a V2 or something, or that drops in price a little bit, I'll buy it. Not that it's not a great price right now, but I have to buy in 3s. So, but yeah, good call. I would love to test it some more. See if I can make it a reality. Trevor, another thing I would like to automate in my network around automatic ticket creation from Netcool. Yeah, that is awesome. You're like building up your like a managed service provider at home for yourself. That is awesome. No, I know what you mean. Like opening and closing like tickets based on events. That is pretty awesome. And I get it. Like if that's what you work in, that is awesome. That's kind of how I work with. I do a bunch of Google Cloud stuff outside of HomeLabbing and Google Cloud alerts. You know, whenever we have a trigger, we set up all these metrics. We log the metrics. Whenever that triggers, we do open tickets or events, and then we have to research and fix those events until the ticket closes, and they'll automatically close. So yeah, that is cool. So if you do the automatic ticket creation, you should do the automatic close too. So whenever that threshold is passed, right, you're gonna create a ticket. but do the other half too, so that if the threshold goes back down, it closes the ticket. And then you just have a whole bunch of robots just opening and closing tickets for you. It sounds awesome though, Trevor. It sounds fun. It sounds fun to figure out. Techno Tim program my house and our data center. That's getting kind of scary. I did program a house. And I have programmed some things that are in a data center, and I kind of think my basement's turning into a data center too. But yeah, you don't want me to do it for you. Sigor, hey, how's it going? Loving the new channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's fun. Like I was saying, it's another outlet for me. I need lots of outlets to do stuff, and so this is just another outlet. It totally makes sense. Like when you think of things in a channel perspective, if you're thinking of traditional TV, you go to a channel for a certain thing. And if that certain thing's not on that channel, you're going to change the channel, right? And so this is a place where I can put those things that don't fit on my channel, because the people who come to my channel expect they expect to see a certain thing, or are interested, like-minded stuff. And so this is a place where I can put it. If I want to put stuff about birds on there, I'm going to put it. So who knows? But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to put a link to Discord under software. Thank you. Appreciate it. See if maybe that helps. Let's see. I think this is Obsidian Hill. I know it is. I know it's his avatar, but he changed his name. Going to keep changing. Oh yeah, exactly. Name when you learn to pronounce it. Yeah, totally burning me. Cause for a long time, hey, dude, thank you. Sudo. I'm going to say sudo. I say sudo. If you say sudo, I will say sudo. Al, for now, because that's your name. But dude, thank you so much, dude. Tier one, three months. Is that 3? Wait, yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Is that 3 months? Trying to. Tier 1, 3 months in advance. It says in advance. Oh, dude, thank you. I got it. Now I get what they're saying. You just did 3 months in advance up front, dudes. I'm doing sudo. Sudo. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. 3 months in advance. That's pretty cool that Twitch lets you do that. They're like, hey, you want to sub for 3 months? I didn't know that. They're changing a lot of stuff. But oh gosh, you're saying once I learn how to pronounce your name, you're going to change it, because I think for about 6 months I said Obsidian Hall, because my eyes, probably bad glasses. I'm going to blame it on everything except for my ability to read. And I didn't notice until one day in Discord when I had my phone, right here, and the font, I could tell, oh, that I's not that L that I thought was an L is an I. So anyways, Obsidian Hill. As soon as I figure out how to pronounce this one, Sinowid. As soon as I learn how to pronounce it, yeah, you're going to change it. Dude, thank you. Love you, brother. Hey, thank you, Frigid Soul. I appreciate it. That is a blast. Blast. Let's see. Here we go. Are any of you doing any power monitoring in your panel or outlets? Techno Tim, if so, what are you using and what did you learn? I'm not. I would love to put something in my panel. I've seen all of those, like, hey, clip things into your panel and we'll tell you all of the devices that are running. I would love to. I just don't. I haven't done it yet. Oh, are you monitoring? Are you doing any power monitoring in your panel or outlets? So I'm assuming you mean electrical panel. I'm not doing anything there. Some of my outlets do have electrical monitoring built in. Yeah, do I really pay attention to it? Nah. But I will say that the electric company, the energy company here, installed a smart meter in my house, and they have an API to access that, and Home Assistant actually works with it. So to answer your question, I don't have anything in the panel, so I can't see like individual usage. That would be cool, even though the panel wouldn't really give me that. It might give me, which breaker. And I don't have, and I do some individual devices, but the meter gives me a whole home, which has been super eye-opening, to know when I'm using power. And it's funny because I'll see it slowly creep up, 7, 8, 9, and then it'll drop off around dinner time, and then it goes way up. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. If your energy company, wherever you get electricity from, if they do install a smart meter and they do support, they do have an API for you to access the data, you can get it right in Home Assistant. It's pretty awesome. So now that energy section in Home Assistant actually shows my energy usage for the last, it shows me the last 24 hours, but I can go back, 60 days and look at it over time. And then the cool thing is then you can tie in clean power too, to when it tries to determine when you're using cleaner power. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff if you can get it. But what did I learn? I learned that when I turn stuff in here, like the stream, I use a lot of electricity. That's what I learned, because there are a lot of lights on that use a lot of power. Lights use more power than you think. I know that LED is way better than incandescent, but if you turn LED up to the brightness that I turn them up, it still uses a lot of power. Dude, Prime sub, Vite it. Dude, thank you so much, Prime sub. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here, and thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. All swing. Made it into the resub. Wanted to say, love the new merch. I wore it at Linux Fest Northwest for a few weeks back and had a lot of people recognize it. Hey, that is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you know Alex from this self-hosted podcast. He and I, chat every now and then, and he DMs me in Discord every now and then when he bumps into someone at a conference wearing my t-shirt, and he's like, whoa, he's surprised. I've yet to bump into anyone in person, but that would be awesome if I did. And surprisingly, a lot of the other YouTubers, had tech YouTubers that purchased it too and wore it in their videos. So it's pretty cool to see. I do have some more stuff coming, probably soon. And I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you wore it. Thanks. I hope it's comfortable, and I hope it's worth it. And I hope it's worth it. Like I've said a few times, put a lot of time into selecting the right printer, the right design, the right ink, and the right material for the t-shirt. So I picked all that myself because I wanted to make sure it was worth it and it was something I would wear. So hope it was. That is awesome. Thank you. Sinowald. I'm just going to, I don't know where I'm getting the L from. Sinawade. I can't do it. Sinewide. That's what I'm going. No, yeah, that's what I'm going with. Sinewide. That's what I'm doing. Do you automate any routines when you wake up, alarm goes off, blinds open, starts new playing Sonos? No, I don't. I've considered it before. I don't have any smart blind stuff that would be cool to get into. I've seen a lot of the, so I've seen like smart blinds that you have to actually buy the blinds that are smart. But then I've also seen like how you can retrofit like curtains on a curtain rod with these devices that just like pull a drawstring in or push a draw or roll out to open up, if you have curtains like those curtains back there. So it's been pretty cool. No, so I have three routines that I built. I have one daytime, and what that does is turn off all the nighttime lights because I have some lights that run all night, like outdoors and stuff like that. And that also turns on the bird bath in the summer. I added that. I had to turn it off for winter. And then I have one, and then it turns off Christmas lights or holiday lights, all of that stuff. And then I have one called nighttime, which does the opposite, right? It'll turn all the lights on that need to be at dusk, along with holiday lights if they exist. It will turn off the bird bath if I have it, because I don't want the bird bath running all night. And then the only one I have is, it's called, I don't know, it's like I left the house. And so when I leave the house, I just press this button, or I can do it automatically too, based on geolocation. But it basically turns off all of the things that should be off, right? If I accidentally left this room like this, I can totally turn it off. I can turn everything in this light off from, even from voice commands too. I could do it right now. I'm not going to. But it's super nice to be able to just have one routine to say, yep, I know that when I leave the house, all of these lights should be turned off. If I forgot to turn them off, it's going to turn them off for me. The other cool thing is if that criteria already matches, at least in HomeKit, the button will be lit up to where I know. So then like when I leave the house, if I look at the button where it says like leaving home, if it's lit up, I know that it's active and I know that I don't even have to press it. So anyways, no, I'd like to get into more stuff. I'd like to automate, turning on the radio in the morning, that'd be cool. But blinds open would be cool. I would actually really enjoy that because sunlight helps me get out of bed. I have a hard time getting out of bed in general, but I've noticed that like if sunlight is hitting me, I'm like, I'm just like a zombie, like, whoa, like, what is that? So anyway, I don't know, good questions. Trevor, to elaborate, all devices are sending logs to Netcool, and then Netcool exports to Splunk using a flat file. Cool, gotcha. So you pipe them all into Netcool, and then Netcool then pipes them or gives them to Splunk, flat text file, or Splunk then knows where to parse them from somewhere else. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Mnemonican. Oh, I can't. Mnemonic man. There we go. Mnemonic man. Sorry about that. Ordering a 5950X for some HomeLab shenanigans. Oh wow. Eventually 25 gig networking. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I am feeling like maybe 10 gig isn't enough for me anymore. I do have two 25 gig ports on one of my switches, but it's the uplink. It's the uplink from the 10 gig that actually bought from Yocto. So, but I haven't done anything 25. I would love to have. Love to have. Well, I don't need 2.5 for everything. But I would love to have the things that need fast networking, get them on the fastest that they can, which is going to be 2.5 or 10. And I think someone redeemed something. That is awesome if you did, because I didn't think that was working. So if you just turned on dark mode and it worked, I guess my code is working. Yes. I said earlier that wasn't going to work, but it does. But that's almost everything. But when I automate leaving, it turns off these lights too, because I have these big Corsair lights on. Oh yeah. Oh man, it's so bright in here. But I have these Corsair lights up here, Elgato lights that are also hooked into Home Assistant, so I can basically say, "Hey, I'm leaving home." Boom, everything's off. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Techno Tim, waiting on power district. Oh, going back to this 5950X. That is pretty awesome too. So sounds like you're gonna have great compute and great networking. So pretty awesome. Yo, thanks. No problem at all. Jakiv. Oh, that was not to me, but to Frigid Soul for the gifted sub. I'm going with Vidit. In Stockholm, the weather is great, and we got Taylor Swift here this weekend. Oh man, lucky. 2 for 1. 2 for 1, because I think in Stockholm, isn't it usually like cloudy and stuff like that? And it's cloudy and rainy, I assume. I assume most of Europe is like that, even though it's not, or it might be. But that is awesome. So 2 for 1, and then you got T Sweezy there. I mean, what's not to like about that? Sounds like a great weekend. I hope you have tickets. If not, I hope you still have like a poster or something you can hold up. Stockholm is great just this weekend. All right, I thought I knew that their weather was mostly cloudy most of the time. Servers are easier to cool also. So yeah, we were talking about this. This probably goes back to like I was talking about. Some people just take a break from HomeLab in the summer. Because either they want to do something else for the summer, or it's or their house gets too hot, and then during the winter they pick it back up. And you're saying Black Hornack is saying servers are also easier to cool. That is awesome. Sinawide, Tay jams up traffic. Yeah, as bad in the U.S. presidential visit. Yeah, that is right. I mean, Taylor Swift. Oh my gosh, I can't believe like people go so crazy over her. And when she came to Minneapolis, it was just like it was insane. It was insane. I mean, it filled the whole stadium. It's crazy how popular she is and how much people love her. And whether you like her music or not. I mean, she just broke her own record on her last album. Let me get this right. Her last album had 14 songs on it, and all 14 were the top songs in the charts. So every single one of her songs were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 14. So all 14 songs in the top charts were all her. And that's a record she broke from a previous album that she had. So it's insane how good she is and how much people love her. She is pretty super talented. Anyways, I won't go on, but that just blew my mind when I heard that statistic saying like she owns all spots on the top 100, the first 14 of her last album. I'm like, who does that? Only her. Anyways, dude, thank you so much, Swifties. All right, hey, Sinawald. Oh, no, it is not Sinawide. Oh, I got it. It's not Sinawide. Wait, is it? I'm so confused now. I think it is. It's all coming together now because now I see you changed your image. All right, sorry, I'm going like crazy. I need some clues. Drop me some clues. Swifties for Tay fans. What's the Tim equivalent? Oh, what's the Tim equivalent of something I would go gaga for? I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. Swifties. I don't know. So what's the Swifties? So you're saying, okay, so if her fans, I thought you meant like, hey, what's something I go crazy for? I got you. You're saying like, hey, if Taylor Swift fans are called Swifties, what are Techno Tim fans called? I don't know. Technies? I like it. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Techno is a weird one to turn into ease. Timmy's, I like it. Timmy's, Penguin Airlines. How's it going, man? Haven't seen you in a while. I like it. Timmy's, totally Timmy's. Yeah, that is awesome. It totally, yeah. Timmy's is what they call Tim Hortons in Canada. So that's when I hear Timmy's, I think of Tim Hortons, where they have great coffee and great donuts. So and great breakfast sandwiches. Basically, everything at Tim Hortons is great for me. I love it. How's it going, Penguin Airlines? Good to see you, man. Additional upgrade. We're 400 amp already and trying to get a 600 amp upgrade. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. That is craziness. I loved it when Obama was here. We were all told to leave the car at home. It was a very calm day. I bet Taylor Swift is causing more traffic and has security's probably on higher alert for her because it's just like, man, it is crazy. What are you drinking? Oh, I thought you were like saying I was like, are you drinking on the job? Today it is. This is just seltzer water. This is a pretty good one. So this is pink apple and lemon. And so like at first I was like, what the heck is a pink apple? So I think like if you've ever had like those pink lady apples, so super tart. But this is, like a tart apple and lemon. It's pretty good. It's so it's just seltzer water. I don't drink. Used to, but just I don't know. Just didn't want to do it anymore because I'm like kind of allergic to alcohol. So I don't like it. It's fun, but like the after effects and the effects that happen to me when I drink are not fun. So I just kind of stopped. But anyways, seltzer water. I'm drinking that one now. My favorites. Polar has kind of been my favorite. I kind of rotate through stuff, but and Target has a Good and Gather brand that's really good too. They have the caffeinated one that I drink all the time, and it's called Cherry Cola, and it's just like a hint of cola, a hint of cherry, plus a little caffeine. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Sign-wide, how do you track your backlog? What's your getting things done approach to Homely and the channels? So for getting things done approach at home, to be honest, it's in my mind. My wife creates a list, and those are the things that I know we like really need to do. But then I always have the backlog of things like nice to do in my head or know I need to do. Like I know I need to mow the lawn today. I didn't put it on the list anywhere. I just knew like, hey, after streaming, I'm going to go mow the lawn. I'm going to go pick up all this stuff. I'll probably bring out some of the lawn furniture. Didn't tell my wife any of this. It's just kind of in my head. So yeah, I should probably put that stuff somewhere. As far as like for like tasks, for work tasks, I guess YouTube stuff. For a while, I used Trello. I was going to say Jira, but not full Jira. Trello. So I used Trello for a while, and then I hopped over to ClickUp. I kind of like ClickUp, but then again, it's starting to get a little too complicated for my needs, so I might go back to Trello. So. Anyways, really for work stuff, anything. I just love a simple Kanban board. Like simple Kanban board. It could even be a physical one. Just get on a dry erase board, put a couple of columns. To do, doing, done. Actually, I usually add one more column for blocked. And so that's the most basic Kanban board I like doing. To do, doing, blocked, and done. And then so to-dos are... There's also one more. Then there's the whole backlog of stuff. So technically there's one more. But to do are things I committed to do. Doing are the things I'm working on. Blocked are the things that I can't do for whatever reason. Outside, some kind of outside influence on the thing where I can't get it done. That's where Scrum Masters come in. And then done are things that are done. They're like, I don't have to think about them again, done. So anyways, yeah, it's any Kanban board, but Trello, I think I'm going back to Trello. ClickUp was fun while it lasted, but it's starting to get way too complicated, like Jira is, and that's the reason why I went with Trello at home. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You guys, I've been streaming for a little bit longer, and I do apologize. This is pretty awesome. Man, this is awesome. I just want to be respectful of your time, and I also told my wife I was going to do a whole bunch of stuff before dinner, and it's getting close to dinner, so I got to do that. I want to make sure that I call out something that. Let's see. I want to read something off. Maybe one last one. I'm trying to find one that mentions me that maybe I don't recognize the name. Let's see. Oh my, there's so many that I skipped. I do apologize. All right, I got nothing. Oh, there's one right here. Mr. Edward 01. Dude, thank you. Oh man. Dude, Matt, how's it going? Oh, Matt, you're in chat. Dude, thank you so much. Matt Curlis, how's it going? I know Matt in real life. And now I can say I've met Matt in real life, too. Before it was like, I know him in real life, but I haven't met him yet. But now I met him. Actually, I work with Matt. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. How's it going? Good to see you. Dude, you didn't have to. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. 5 tier ones. So, DZ, Lesser Trine, Soft Steel, I got to get this right. Waquaro, and Famus. Dude, enjoy your gifted sub from Matt. Dude, Matt, how's it going? It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dude, Mr. Edward, subscribe tier 1. Thank you so much. Mr. Edward, dude, thank you so much. I was just getting ready to read your comment too. I will read it, but I wanted to tell everyone thank you. Dude, Matt and Edward, thank you so much. That's the one I did click on for sure. And let's see, Mr. Edward. Hello, Tim. I haven't checked the dedicated servers for a while, and today I was checking for options and noticed that a majority of the servers for rent run on desktop CPUs, both AMD and Intel. Is it okay nowadays? Because I remember Xeon and Epic. So you're basically saying, hey, are desktop CPUs okay to do server stuff? Let me grab a drink. And I'm here to say, yeah. I mean they are. For most general purpose workloads, I think they're totally fine and more than adequate to run some of your server workloads. When you start to get into when you start virtualizing stuff and you need super high density and you need lots of compute, that's where, enterprise type processors come in because they have more cores, they have more lanes, they have way more cache. Their L1 and L2 cache are way higher, so they can hold and process a lot more. They can address more RAM. Like they can do all of these things, but really, you need to be at a certain scale before that, may make sense. It may make sense at home because, hey, those things are now cheap to have at home. But I guess to just get to the heart of the question, like, hey, if you're gonna, well, this is for rent. You're noticing mostly desktop CPUs, and it is okay. Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because like desktop CPUs typically have like a higher boost clock speed that they can boost to, whereas server ones are usually low clock speed, little bit of boost, but they're meant to address like super duper dense workloads. So yeah, I think they are. I mean, if it's any consolation here at home, like I've moved my server workloads to my colo, but everything that's running and you see here right now is running within 3 Intel NUC mini PCs. And those Intel NUCs, I think they're using laptop processors. I don't remember, but they're I think 11th gen CPUs. So 11th gen CPUs, desktop processors running, and they're running each NUC is running Proxmox, and I'm running 5 VMs on each, 3 Kubernetes clusters, Linux virtual machine, 2 Windows machines across 3 mini PCs. And so I think they're more than capable, especially for home stuff too. So what's the challenge then when you get those? Well, when you get those, you have limited upgrade abilities, right? So you have limited upgrade abilities. Dude, sudo out. All right, I'll definitely get to your message. Yeah, I appreciate it. But just finishing this thought. So what's the challenge with mini PCs? You definitely have limited upgrade options. You usually have limited lanes that you can address. That usually doesn't matter because they're in a case that doesn't expose PCI Express anyways. But if you're using a desktop tower, you have access to all of that. Usually what you're going to find, you're going to be limited to RAM. That's about it. You know, how many RAM and lanes. And so depending on the board and the CPU that you have, you know, that board will only allow so much RAM. That CPU can only address so much RAM. More so the CPU. I think most people are just like giving you 4 slots and saying, have at it. Or 8 slots on some workstation boards. And then, yeah, on top of that, then PCIe lanes. And this is something that like desktop processors, I think they artificially cap this stuff. I don't know if it's an architectural decision. I haven't looked, nor am I qualified to really answer that question. I feel like it's artificially capped. But, you know, they're like Intel and Ryzen CPUs can, you know, only address 20 lanes. And what does that mean for you? Well, if you're going to throw in a bunch of PCI Express devices, you only get 20 lanes. And real life use case, real world, that's a video card plus 1 NVMe drive. So, which is fine for 90% of people who have computers. But, you know, then there's the, you know, maybe 10%, maybe it's 2%. I don't know. The whole market decided that it's okay because everyone makes a small motherboard now that only has maybe 2 or 3 PCIe lanes or slots. So the whole market decided that 20 is enough. We're not going to make motherboards that have, you know, a majority of the motherboards that don't even have enough slots for them anyway. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, good question. I'm here to say, yeah, it's enough. It's enough. It's absolutely enough. I mean, my home lab is powered by that. I do have an AS and I do have a HL15 that has an Intel processor. But again, that's because I need to address all of those PCI Express lanes to get all of those drives and all of those devices. That's where my video card is, a 10 gig NIC, my HBA controller. You know, I think I have 11 drives in there right now. And so that does have, it's pretty much the lowest power Xeon you could get, the second, I don't know, second gen scalable processor, the Bronze, with zero turbo. So it's like 1.9, doesn't even boost. It's pretty low power for a Xeon. But yeah, good question. All right, let's see, Sudo Al. I think he asked the questions in his bits. Hey Tim, have you tried CloudStack? We've been recently trying it out over we've been recently trying it out on my company to manage multiple servers in different locations. Having a blast learning some layer 3 stuff. Don't know if it's overkill for home labs. Nothing is overkill for home labs. I think we figured that out. You know, to each his own. Some people might say, yeah, it's overkill for home labs, but you know, if you want to run, you know, CloudStack at home to learn about CloudStack, you know, why not? So it's not overkill. But no, I don't know it. I don't know CloudStack, but it does sound awesome. So I like this idea of building a cloud, building clouds with disparate locations, right? Because it sounds awesome. That's like the dream, right? You basically can take any machine anywhere. You can network them. You solve networking problems with technology, with something like Tailscale or something, you know, WireGuard and some broker that gets you all connected. And then all of these machines can communicate as if they're on the same network. And if they can communicate like they're on the same network, then they can do, you know, a clustering stuff and, you know, all kinds of stuff as long as latency is pretty low. So I love that idea. I love that idea. And also, dude, Signable, thank you so much. Another great stream, Tim. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the support. Appreciate it. But going back to this, I love that idea of being able to just take any machine, anywhere, get it connected to kind of the same network, and, you know, build this gigantic cluster. I honestly wish there was a way to do like just a huge cluster on, like, you know, I don't know. What I would love to do is, or would love to see, is a product where it's like, and maybe this is where this product fits, but I would love to see, like, I don't know, some way to connect or treat different machines like one, right? To where I could just say, whatever, you know, install this, build this, do whatever, build this VM and not even care and have, I mean, it's basically like I want Kubernetes for machines, you know, where I have the state machine and I can connect all of these different physical machines, but just treat them as one big one and just say, give me a virtual machine somewhere. I don't care. You know, give me, you know, a tiny virtual machine over here. Give me this Docker container over here. Hey, I need, you know, I need a whole Kubernetes cluster, build it and figure it out. And so I kind of want that kind of automation and that abstraction at the data center level. If not at the data center level, like, yeah, at the data center level. I just basically want, well, at the machine level, I guess, too. But it sounds awesome. I don't know. But what you're saying sounds awesome. I'd love to check it out. Like I said, I am going to get some new hardware soon, whether it's 3 MSL1s or I buy 3 other machines, just because there's a cluster and stuff that I want to test. And I'm sure that this CloudStack probably runs a cluster, or probably you really get the benefits once you have multiple machines. And I do like networking stuff between 2 sites too. It's why I had the colo. Half the reason was of having it was being able to do some site-to-site VPN stuff, which I've been. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So I appreciate it. Dude, you guys, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Trevor, great stream, Tim. I'm going to look into adding some more automation into Netcool. Awesome. Yeah, awesome, Trevor. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you automate the open of the ticket, also automate the closing of the ticket too. It'll save you from having to close it yourself. That is awesome. Hey all, thank you so much for tuning in. Wow, there was so much support today. It was unreal. Dude, thank you all so much. There were so many bits. There were so many follows. There were so many subs. There was gifted subs. There was renew subs. There's subs on subs on subs. Subs for 3 months out. Thank you all so much, man. That was greatly appreciated. It's never expected, but always appreciated. It helps me. Honestly, it helps me just buy and build things to show on YouTube. You know, it helps me with some other stuff too, but I keep that all aside. I reinvest everything back into my channels that are everywhere. So I really appreciate it. And I really, really, really appreciate it. I hope you know that. So anyways, I will be back here next Saturday. I'll be on Twitch next Saturday. So I think next Saturday is a Memorial Weekend in the US. I will be here on Saturday. I might have to shift it around. I have to see. That's when my wife and I do a whole bunch of yard work. And so if it's going to rain on, you know, Sunday, but be nice on Saturday, I might have to shift that around. Anyways, if turn on notifications or join our Discord and you can see when the event is, I'll be sure to announce it ahead of time. Anyways, that being said, I shouldn't like pre-announce that I might move the stream. That aside, I'll be back here next Saturday. If that changes, I will let you know, and the places I usually let you know, which is Discord. Man, again, thank you so much. There was so much going on. There were so many bits, so many subs, so many follows, so many resubs, so many gifted subs. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to continue the conversation, I mentioned Discord a few times. We have a Discord full of lots of people. We're so close to 10,000 people, but then like we lost a couple hundred people in a day, and I think that was Discord cleaning up some bots, which they should. So not that the number matters, but we're really close to 10,000. If you'd like to join, we'd love for you to be there. There's lots going on, lots to talk about. A lot of channels to talk about tech and all this stuff. A lot of people with a lot of experience. Scorpion Kingdom, thanks for following. Appreciate it. Anyways, I will be back next Saturday. I'll have something out for you on YouTube this week. I just need to finish up my thoughts about something I've been testing out, and I'll get it out to you. And we'll go from there. Hey, have a great Saturday. Have a nice rest of the weekend. I'll be in Discord if you need me. Take care and be good to each other. Take care, folks.